Good afternoon, everyone. Gina here, and welcome back to my channel. So I had some free time before picking up Scarlett, so I thought I would go ahead and just sit down and share with you guys a baby update, because you guys are so sweet and you guys have been asking me in the comments. You guys have been asking me on my Instagram and email, so I got myself a lovely decaf coffee treat and thought I would go ahead and sit down and share with you guys everything that is going on. So when we're filming this video, today's October 20th, on the 22nd, which is Thursday, that is when I turn 22 weeks. So currently I am, sorry, I'm positioning you guys, you keep like bouncing. I'm currently 21 and 5 days right now. But on Thursday, I'm going to be 22 weeks pregnant. So a few things have happened the last few weeks, and I've shared on YouTube, I've shared on my Instagram. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue sharing with you guys, because I know some of you may not have Instagram, or some of you just may not be up to date with what is going on. So I went to my 20-week scan to do the anatomy scan, and the experience I had was not a pleasant one, and it was very frightening to me as a patient. So the tech was making some comments. There was a few comments she made. One was the baby was not moving very much, so that made it difficult for her to get the measurements and the pictures she needed. But then she also had made different sounds. Like, she literally said this. She went, huh, heart rate's kind of low. And then another time she made that same huh noise and just mentioned the baby wasn't moving very much. And that made me a little nervous, being the patient, because I didn't know what that meant. So she called the doctor to look at the scans, and the doctor was concerned about my fluid levels. So at 20 weeks, the amniotic fluid, that's the fluid that the baby starts drinking and recycling it to pee and all of that stuff, and it helps the baby move around in the fluid. So if the fluid's lower, then the baby moves less. There's less room for the baby to move. The fluid is also that like barrier to protect the baby in case there's like you fall or something hits you. That fluid is supposed to actually protect the baby and the placenta. So the fluid is very important, if you guys didn't know that. So my numbers were at, the centimeters I was at an 8, and I know some hospitals have different numbers, and they wanted me at about a 14 at 20 weeks. They like to see 14 and higher. So I was at 8, so I was still considered in the average on the scale, but like the low average. So we dealt with that. So I was looking up online. Of course, the worst thing you can do is look on Google when a doctor tells you something, but I am only human, and that's exactly what I did. So I looked on Google, and I was terrified the whole entire weekend. And I had gotten a call from a scheduler for a high-risk doctor, and the scheduler just called me without the doctor calling to talk to me about it. So I had to go the whole entire weekend knowing that something was wrong and I needed to see a high-risk doctor, but I wasn't really given all of the information as to why that needed to be. I knew the low fluid thing, so I had just assumed it was just low fluids because that's what I was already told. So I went into my appointment on Monday, and they did another ultrasound. This is like a top tier ultrasound, so this is the clearest picture you're gonna get. So I did that, and the doctor had told me that the baby was measuring at 18 and a half weeks instead of 20, which was where we were. So the baby was measuring about 8 days behind, and gave us a diagnosis of Iugr, which is basically when the baby is slow to grow in utero, is basically what it is. So the past week has been excruciating for me, because the next time I'm seen is October 26th. So it's now October 20th. So we have less than a week. And you guys, the days have just drug out of being seen for this doctor, because we have to see if the baby has caught up on growth, to see how we're going to proceed going forward. And then we have another scan 2 weeks from there. So there's a lot of different scenarios that could play out with this. So the unsettling part of this whole entire thing is the doctors have told me multiple times that there's no intervention that they would even be able to do until we are at a viable point for the baby. So viability is 24 weeks. And even at that point, I mean, baby's born at 24 weeks. It's not a 100% survival. So, you know, keeping the baby in as long as possible is obviously something we want to do. But it's just kind of like a touch and go type deal right now. So it's just a waiting game for me right now. And I've been reassured with being able to feel her move more frequently. And I do have a Doppler at home, so I'm able to check the heartbeat at home. Thank goodness. Otherwise, I would be an even more nervous wreck, because I do notice that the movements are sporadic. They're not like regular movements. So there are times when I think about it and I'm like, oh no, I haven't felt her move in a while. And then I really start to get panicky, and I'm on edge until I can feel her move. So it's definitely been a very stressful time for our family, for sure. So I just appreciate you guys so much for, one, being so supportive, being so sweet to me, and it just definitely really helps, you know, get the time to go by even faster. So I really do appreciate that. My blood sugar numbers, my diabetes is getting a lot worse. I now take insulin in the morning when I wake up to control my lunch sugars. And I also still take my insulin at nighttime. So I'm taking a total of 16 in the morning and then 8 at night. So a total of 24 units in one day. And this has been a different change as well, because if you're not familiar with insulin, I'm on an insulin called NPH, and the peak that the medication starts working is about 5 hours after. So I have to be on top of my eating. So I cannot go 2 hours without eating. Otherwise my blood sugar dips too low and then I go into shock. So I have emergency kits all over the place, all over my house, my purse. They're everywhere, because when my blood sugar dips, I have to intervene, get some honey in my system, get some juice in my system, because I'll get shaky, I get sweaty, and I get disoriented. So it's definitely been a change of lifestyle for us, because I have to time when I know I'm going to be all right to like drive a car. So that's been something to adjust as well. And then we're also dealing with our son Tanner, our youngest son. He's actually going into surgery on Friday. So he's getting a cyst removed in the back of his throat. So he's going to be put under. It's a full-blown surgery. So we're dealing with that on top of everything else. So we, you know, have been pretty stressed out this week with his pre-op appointment. We're going to be talking to the anesthesiologist. I have to get him a COVID test tomorrow, which obviously, you know, what we're dealing with right now could be a lot worse. But for me, my mommy heart breaks for Tanner, knowing the things that he's going to have to go through in the next few days. So, and on top of that, I was supposed to go to Vegas this weekend with Nicole and some of her friends. I was supposed to hang out with Melissa and Sway to the 99, and I am so bummed that I cannot, because Tanner's having surgery. So the trip was planned before I even knew Tanner needed to get a surgery. So that was definitely a bummer, because I was looking forward to going to Vegas and having a girls trip, plus with Sway to the 99 as well. I was definitely bummed about that. So I will keep you guys updated on I will definitely keep you guys updated on what the doctors say, how the baby's doing. I don't even think I've shared her name with you guys. If you guys are following me on Instagram, you would know that Chris and I are naming our daughter Avery, and her middle name is actually after my grandmother, Mary Lee. So her full name is Avery Mary Lee Schweppe. I thought that flowed better than Avery Mary Schweppe. I thought adding in the Mary Lee flowed a lot better. My grandmother's name was Mary Lee Campbell, so we hyphenated her whole name. So I'm really excited to have my grandmother be a part of Avery's name, because she was a very significant woman in my life growing up. So every time I thought about that name, I like came to tears. So I knew that was going to be her name, but by some miracle, I'm keeping it together right now. Maybe it's the coffee in me that's helping me from not crying. So yeah, that's everything that's been going on. My stomach is definitely not as big as it has been in the past. So for me being 22 weeks, I would have expected my stomach to be a little bit bigger than it is now, but that is a common thing with growth restriction too, is the stomach of the mother is smaller. So, I don't know if Avery is still growing on a slower rate, and that's contributing to my stomach not growing as much. In terms of where my uterus is supposed to be at 22 weeks, it's supposed to be above my belly button. And when I lay down and feel where my uterus is, it's kind of right at the start of my belly button. So even my fundal height is measuring behind. So yeah, we're just at a wait and see. And I just wanted to hop on here and update you guys in terms of how the pregnancy is going and how Avery's doing, and definitely wanted to share about Tanner in case you see some slowdown in videos for couponing over the weekend. It's just going to honestly depend on how Tanner's doing. I've never had a child go through surgery like this before. I've never had a child go under anesthesia, so I honestly have no clue what to expect. He's only 2. He's going to have discomfort in his throat. He's not going to understand why his throat hurts, so he's not going to be able to eat the things he's used to eating. He's not going to be able to he's just not going to feel how he normally feels. So I am just gearing up to have one hell of a weekend. So, but I definitely wanted to sit down, share this with you guys, and update you. And I will continue to update you guys as things continue to progress. And I just want to, again, thank you so much for being so supportive, so kind. And I did want to mention this to you guys. So, I was talking to a few of my friends, and we thought it'd be really fun to do kind of like a Zoom baby shower. So I talked with Crystal from Chris the Maximizer. I talked to Myra. I talked to my friends Courtney and Carly just to get their opinion about it, and they're for it. So we were thinking of doing different games. I gave Courtney and Carly the game of the what's in your purse, and then I gave Crystal the Price is Right game to do. So like having to price out what baby items would cost, and I think Myra is going to do like a baby bingo. So if you guys would be interested in doing a little baby shower with us, let me know, and I'll start getting an email list so that we can put the Zoom link out for you guys. But I think that would just be so fun just to do something together, and I love baby showers, so I definitely wanted to mention that to you guys if you were at all interested in participating in that. It could be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys have a great day. I did post my Walmart Black Friday deals, the one starting the 4th through the 7th. So if you guys haven't checked that video out, I'll have it linked below, and gear up for more Black Friday content, because it's going to be coming for the next month or so. So get ready. It's Black Friday season like now, so get ready. So I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye guys.